Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Wednesday, June 11th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $, ORION-NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got some MLB action this Wednesday afternoon. The Seattle Mariners versus the Arizona Diamondbacks. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Wednesday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, our ace, our number one this year in 2025, Brian Wu. And on the right, the Seattle product who's been dominating this series. You know who it is, right fielder Corbin Carroll. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Must-win game, we have to prevent the sweep. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, DHing today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Batting fifth, playing second base for the first time in ages, Jorge Polanco. Batting sixth, catching today for Seattle, Mitch Garver. Batting seventh, playing first base, Donovan Solano. Batting eighth, playing right field, Dylan Moore. And batting ninth, playing third base, Ben Williamson. And on the mound for the Mariners, with a very solid record, you know what it is. 5 wins, 3 losses, 3.07 ERA. It is Brian Wu. And now let's get into the starting lineup for the home Arizona Diamondbacks. Leading off for the Diamondbacks in right field, Corbin Carroll. Awesome game yesterday for him. Yesterday, 2 triples. Hopefully that doesn't happen here today, but I see you, the Northwest product. Batting second, the former Mariner, second baseman, Ketel Marte. Batting third, playing shortstop, Geraldo Perdomo. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing today for the Diamondbacks, Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, playing third base, the former Mariner, Eugenio Suarez. Batting sixth, playing left field, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Batting seventh, playing first base, Pavin Smith. Batting eighth, playing center field, Alec Thomas. And batting ninth for Arizona, catching today for the Diamondbacks, Jose Herrera. And on the mound for the Diamondbacks with a 1-3 record, 6.70 ERA, Eduardo Rodriguez. We'll be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 50 overall or more, and 100 in the donos on every single stream. All right, let's get situated here. All right, only lefty hitter in the lineup, J.P. Crawford. We're going with all righties. We'll see how this works out. Really, my only concern with this lineup, we got our best pitcher on the mound, J.P. Julio, Cal, Randy Polo. That's fine. But Polo playing defense, I'm a little concerned. And then you got Garver, Solano, Demo, and Williamson. So if we get anything out of our 6 through 9 hole hitters, we should have a pretty good chance to win. Magic number is going to be 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And Brian Woo's got to give up 3 runs or less. Otherwise, we're going to get swept. So we have to find a way. Then we have a day off tomorrow, and then we end up playing a very competitive series, I believe, against the Guardians starting on Friday. So, again, this is must win. It hasn't been pretty lately for the Seattle Mariners. It started off with a bang, but now, unfortunately, after that 9 consecutive series win streak has ended, instead of averaging 6 runs per game for about a month and a half, we're stuck averaging about 1 to 3 runs. And now we're on the brink of going under 500. We're literally 33 and 33 after being over 10 games above 500 earlier in the year. So I'm really hoping we can find a way to get this done. Alec in the building, what's good? All right, Eduardo Rodriguez, 1-3 record, 6.70 ERA. We should be able to find a way to get the job done here on the mound. And then leading off here for the Mariners in the top of the first, JP Crawford. Come on, JP. And we definitely need hits early and often. And we're going to need not only Brian Woo to dominate, we're going to need the first 5 hitters in the lineup to produce. And we're going to need some good production at the bottom end of the lineup with Garver, Solano, Moore, and Williamson. First pitch from Rodriguez, low and away, tries to paint the corner and misses. 1-0 count. Come on, JP. 1-0 pitch. Fouled off in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike from Rodriguez to Crawford. 91 miles an hour on that foul ball. One before that, 90. So Rodriguez bringing that consistency, and obviously we're not going to see him probably top out at 95 to 100, but we'll see what happens here with the crafty lefty. Come on, JP. One pitch in play, grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Trident's up. First pitch from Rodriguez to Rodriguez. Inside, tries to jam the hitter with the cutter, 90 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Let's go, baby. Must-win game. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss with the cutter, 88 miles an hour by Rodriguez. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out and nobody on here in the top of the first. 1-1 pitch. And there we go. Julio with a single to left. I like that. Nice job by Julio Rodriguez getting us started early and hopefully often. And I hope this is a 3 for 4 kind of day for Julio, or maybe even 3 for 5. Next up, the best catcher in baseball, leading MLB in homers with 26, DHing big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. They're repping the Northwest Greens today. Let's get it done. Trident's up. Let's go, Cal. Singles, doubles, homers. We need them. Bring that electricity, Cal. Top of the first inning, runner at first, Julio. Rodriguez on the mound. Big dumper in the box. Takes a pitch outside, 1-0 count. Pitches low and inside. 2 balls and no strikes from Rodriguez to Raleigh. Let's go. 2-0 pitch. Low and away. Change up 85 miles an hour by Rodriguez. Cal Raleigh in a good count. Got the green light. 3-0 count from Rodriguez to Raleigh. 3-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking on the corner. 3 balls and 1 strike from Rodriguez to Raleigh. Let's go, big dumper. Take the walk if it's there. Trident's up. 3-1 pitch, and that is outside, and that is a walk. There we go. Good eye by Cal. Not trying to do too much. Here we go. We might be able to get a run here in the first inning, and that would be great for us to be able to get off to a fast start. Next up is left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. Singles and doubles have been in his repertoire as of late, and obviously we could really use an RBI double right here to be able to get off to an early lead. Let's go, Randy. First pitch to Randy Arozarena, takes a strike looking with the changeup right down the middle. 0-1 count. Come on, Randy. Oh, 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss right down the middle by Arozarena. It's usually a single, double, or a strikeout, either looking or swinging. But hopefully he can grind this at-bat out, and we can find a way. Come on, Randy. Three doubles in this road trip. 0-2 pitch in play. And Arozarena grounded out to the fielder's choice to third. Raleigh out at second. Julio to third base. Now we got runners at first and third. Hopefully next time around, Randy. All right, here we go. Next up, playing second base for the first time in a long time, Jorge Polanco. Typically our everyday DH. But again, we're going to be giving Cole Young a day off. And hopefully we can get something out of Polo here, not only offensively, but defensively. If there was ever a player that's due for something big, it is Polo. First pitch, Polo single to right. There we go. Rodriguez scored. Arozarena to second. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Way to bring that electricity. Nice RBI by Polo. Yes, sir. 1-0 Mariners. Not a good bet, Gabe, especially when the starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks has got an ERA of 7. There was a good chance that we were going to get something here. Here we go, baby. 1-0 Mariners. Next up, catcher Mitch Garver. And that's why it's so important to look at stats, to look at, ERAs and, where people are sitting. And obviously the Mariners have struggled, as of late. It was more than likely that the Diamondbacks would score in the first inning, not the Mariners, but that's how it goes. First pitch from Rodriguez to Garver, takes the strike looking with the cutter. 0-1 count. If you were going to do that bet, it would have been better off doing it maybe in the other games, but not this rubber match game. 0-1 pitch, takes another strike looking on the line, painting the corner. No balls and 2 strikes from Rodriguez to Garver. Good start here for the Mariners. 1-0 lead with an RBI single by Jorge Polanco. And Garver on the 0-2. And that is it. Punched out by Rodriguez. End of the top of the first inning, but the Mariners cash in with an RBI single by Polo. 1-0 Seattle. Next up on the mound here in the bottom of the first, our ace. 5-3 record, ERA of 3.07. It is Brian Wu. Let's go, Wu. Leading off for the Diamondbacks here in right field, Corbin Carroll. 2 triples yesterday. We can't afford that to happen today. Batting second baseman Cadell Marte. And batting third, shortstop Geraldo Perdomo. Let's go Mariners. All day in the building. What's good? We're going to win today with Woo. The magic number is 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And if Woo gives up 3 runs or less, and we can get some good production in the lineup, we'll prevent the sweep. And again, we have the day off tomorrow, and then we're going to have a tough series against the Guardians starting on Friday. So that's not going to be easy whatsoever, regardless if you play them at home or on the road. We are at home, and hopefully coming back home will, rejuvenate the team a little bit, because this road trip has not been kind to the Mariners. And again, we have to win to be able to stay above 500. We're 33-33. We were 10 games above 500. When we were on our 9 consecutive series win streak, averaging 6 runs a game for a month and a half. And now we're averaging about 1 to 3 runs. Today is the day that we get more than 3 or 4. Today we get 5 or more, and we win. Let's go. Michael in the building, what's good? All day in the building, what's good? And again, Polo playing second for one of the first times in a long time, typically just called DH, giving Cole Young a day off. And again, Solano, Garver, Moore, Williamson at the bottom end of the order. If we can get anything out of those 4 guys, that'll give us a better chance to win, so there's not as much pressure on the guys at the top of the order, JP, Julio, Cal, Randy, and Polo. First pitch to Corbin Carroll. High and away, 4-seam fastball. 93 miles an hour by Woo, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Inside, tries to jam the hitter at the hips. 94 mile an hour fastball, 2-0 count. Come on, Woo. 2-0 pitch. Carroll connects and flies out to left. Randy Arozarena is there, 1 away. Down goes Corbin Carroll. That's much better than a triple. He had 2 of them yesterday, leading the league in triples. Corbin Carroll. Next up, second baseman, the former Mariner, Ketel Marte. Yeah, Guardians are good. Same thing with the Twins. They're good. They're not as good as the Tigers in the division, but, it's not going to be an easy series whatsoever. But I do feel that the Mariners are going to play up to the competition. Lately, with the teams that we've been playing down to the competition. So if we can play up, we're going to get our best, foot forward. Even if we lose some of the games, we're going to score more runs, and I believe we'll pitch better. And hopefully we don't see Trent Thornton ever again. First pitch to Ketel Marte from Brian Woo, low and at the knees with a slider, 87 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch to Marte, in play and grounded out to second. Polo, throw to first, got him, 2 away. Good start here for the Mariner defense. Next up for the Diamondbacks, shortstop Geraldo Perdomo. Let's go, Woo. We need you to wheel and deal, baby. Let's get it. 5-3 record, ERA of 3.07 for Brian Woo. First pitch from Woo to Perdomo, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Let's go, baby. We only got 1 lefty in the lineup today. All righties going against their lefty, Rodriguez. 0-1 pitch, takes the strike swinging, painting the corner. Big swing and a miss by Perdomo, behind in the count 0-2. 0-2 pitch, high and away by Brian Woo. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Perdomo. Bottom of the first inning, 1-0 lead. Nice to see the Mariners actually get a run, in the first inning. It's been rough, going against Fott and Kelly, and those 2 starting pitchers are much better than obviously Rodriguez, so we should be able to beat them up early and often, I hope. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, and all the pitches so far from Woo are 94 or 95. He's in his wheelhouse right now. We just got to prevent the walks, and hopefully we can have a good inning here. In play, and Perdomo pops out to second. Okay, Polo there. And that is the end of the first inning. Good first inning for the Mariners. Let's go, baby. Next up for the Mariners, first baseman Donovan Solano. Batting second, playing right field today, Dylan Moore. And batting third in the 9-hole, third baseman Ben Williamson. Let's go Mariners. Got to win this game. Must win. It hasn't been pretty lately, but again, hopefully things can get back on track. Nice for the weather to cool down here in the Pacific Northwest. We had a heat wave in Oregon and Washington in the Pacific Northwest for about a week. And finally, we're getting some cooler temperatures, 55 to 65 this morning with a little bit of breeze, but the sun was out. Perfect temperature to take my pup on a couple walks already this morning. And again, hopefully I'll be able to take her on a victory walk here in about 2.5 hours. End of the first inning, 1-0 Mariners, and Polo singled to right. Rodriguez scored. Randy Arozarena to second. And again, we weren't able to get more than that, but to get 2 hits early on and to be able to get a RBI single by Polo, we've had a hard time, being able to get runs early, and not only that often, but again, a good sign for Brian Wu with that run support. He's got to give up 3 runs or less. The magic number is 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. If we get that today, we win. We might even be able to win with 4 runs today. But again, 5 is the magic number. And on the mound for the Diamondbacks, 1-3 record, 6.70 ERA, Eduardo Rodriguez. So not the same type of pitcher as Merrill Kelly or Brandon Pfaadt that we've had the last 2 days. Those guys are much better. So there's a reason why we struggle. Captain in the building. What's good, brother? RBI single by Polo early on, and they even have Polo playing second today for the first time in a long time, giving Cole Young a day off, and it looks like it's working. First pitch, high and away by Rodriguez to Solano, 1-0 count. Let's go, Donovan. If you're playing, hopefully you go 1 for 4. If you end up playing the whole game, if you only play part of the game, 1 for 3, and then hopefully you get a walk. So essentially you get to first twice. 1-1 pitch, fouled off high and inside to Donovan Solano. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Rodriguez to Solano. And this isn't the best lineup for Brian Wu. It's probably our worst lineup. So again, you got Garver at 6, at catcher over Cal, Solano at first at 7, Demo at 8 in right field, and then obviously Williamson is still Williamson. But again, we have a little concern there with Garver, Solano, and Demo. Those guys have not been good. If we get anything out of those 3 guys, more than likely we're going to win. 1-2 pitch, in play, and Solano flied out to center, 1 away. Down goes Donovan. Next up for the Mariners, a guy that needs to heat up, and we got a log jam in right field. Obviously, nobody is going to be as good as Victor Robles, but you had Leody Taveras. You sent him down for Dominic Canzone. Now you're putting Dylan Moore over there. You could put Miles Mastroboni over there. We don't really have an answer for right field. Obviously, we could use another first baseman as well, and I imagine at the deadline we'll be going for a right fielder, a first baseman, as well as some relief pitching. We can't have Trent Thornton pitch ever again. First pitch, the Demo fouled off by Rodriguez, 0-1 count. Cutter, 90 miles an hour. 0-1 pitch, low and away with a slider, 84 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Rodriguez to Demo. Come on, Dylan. We need you to be the player that you were in March and April, like Polo when you were hot. You've gotten ice cold. And again, you've been having the Julio Rodriguez syndrome in March and April for that type of Julio where you're just swinging at everything. We can't afford you to have strikeouts left and right. 1-2 pitch, 4-seam fastball, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dylan Moore. 2-2 pitch, and big swing and a miss. Down goes Dylan Moore. 2 away. I would have probably played Dominic Canzone over Dylan Moore, but again, that's Dan Wilson for you. You brought Dominic up. Why aren't we playing him? And it's not like Dylan Moore's been good. He's been struggling. Next up is third baseman Ben Williamson. But maybe we'll end up getting, Canzone to pinch hit, later in the matchup. Same thing with Rowdy. Once they go from a left-handed pitcher to a right-handed pitcher, we might be able to see a few more opportunities for players that are better. Obviously, JP's the only lefty in the lineup. It's all righties right now because of the starter is a lefty, Rodriguez. First pitch, big swing and a miss by Ben Williamson. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Inside, tries to jam the hitter. 1 ball and 1 strike from Rodriguez to Williamson. 1-1 pitch, high and away. Tries to paint the line in the corner and does. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Rodriguez on the mound. Ben Williamson in the box. Come on, Ben. Go Mariners, baby. Let's go. 7 more likes to 20. Let's get there. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help us get to 20 likes within the first hour. 50 or more overall, and 100 in the donos on every single stream. 1-2 pitch. Right down the middle. Sinker, 91 miles an hour by Rodriguez. Fouled off by Big Ben. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. 1-2 pitch. Slider right down the middle. Fouled off again. Big Ben working the count. And again, hopefully this will lead to a single. 8 games above 500, and that's where we capped out. 1-2 pitch. Slider fouled off again. 3 consecutive foul balls off the sinker or slider from Rodriguez. Grind this out, Big Ben. This would be a very good at-bat to keep the drive going, and the Mariners are the best team in MLB in afternoon games, record-wise. And again, the longer that we can grind out at-bats, that'll tire down this pitcher who is not Brandon Pfaadt, or Merrill Kelly. You know, these 2 pitchers that we went against in the previous 2 games are very good. And we struggled, obviously, for numerous reasons. Not just the bullpen, but hitting. But again, with this Rodriguez, he's got an ERA of almost 7, so we should be able to get 1 to 3 runs within the first 5 innings. We're already at 1.
With the easy
and down goes Ben Williamson, but again, at least we have the RBI single by Polo. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see who's up next for the Diamondbacks.
Now, more people pay $0 for the Freestyle Libre systems than other CGMs. This is progress.
Next up for the Diamondbacks here in the bottom of the second, DHing today in the 4-hole, Josh Naylor. He would make a great Seattle Mariner if the Diamondbacks would part with him, because we could use him at DH or first base. Batting second, third baseman, former Seattle Mariner, good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. Miss you, Gino. And batting third, left fielder, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Brian Wu. We need you to keep wheeling and dealing, baby. Let's go, Brian. First pitch from Wood and Naylor. Takes a strike looking with that sweeper. 0-1 count. Come on, Brian. One run, 2 hits, no errors early on. Oh, 1 pitch. Low and away with the changeup. Tries to paint the corner and just missed it. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wood and Naylor. Let's go, Brian. 1-1 pitch in play, and Naylor singles to left. Solid player, Josh Naylor. Next up for the Diamondbacks, third baseman Eugenio Suarez, and we're going to need a ground rule double. No. We're going to need a double play. We're going to need a slow dribbler right up the middle, and then hopefully we can turn that for two. First pitch from Wu to Suarez, takes the strike looking right down the middle. No. Towards the knees, paints the line, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. High and inside, tries to jam the hitter, and he fouls that one off behind in the count 0-2. Wu on the mound, Eugenio Suarez in the box. Bottom of the second inning, runner at first with no outs, 1-0 lead with an RBI single by Polo in the first. Gino, 224 batting average, 18 home runs, 48 ribbies. Had a game, about a little over a month ago, I believe, where he had the 4 homers in the single game, where you're not going to see too many guys do that, obviously, throughout the year. 0-2 pitch, high and away, fouled off. 0-2 count, no balls, 2 strikes from Wu to Suarez. Let's go, Brian. We need a strong outing, 6 or 7 solid innings, and then 3 runs or less given up. Preferably, giving up 0, 1, or 2 if possible. 0-2 pitch, low and away. Slider gets away from him, about 3 feet off the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and no outs. Wu on the mound, Suarez in the box. One-two pitch, big swing and a miss, and Wu with the punch out. There we go, baby. That's the electricity that I was looking for. Nice job by Brian Wu. Nice punch out. Next up is left fielder Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Let's go, baby. Bottom of the second inning, 1-0 Seattle. RBI single by Polo in the first to give us the early 1-0 lead for our best pitcher in 2025, not named Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu. And we should be getting Gilbert and Rayleigh back in just a few days, about a week or less. Can't wait to see both of those guys back, not only on the mound, but in the box. In play, and fielder's choice, and the runner is out, 2 away. Next up is first baseman Pavin Smith. And again, this is Polo's first game, at second base in a long, long time. Again, we know that they were flirting with the idea of him playing second or third. Then he got hurt. Then we called up Ben Williamson, and that is a spot that's pretty much taken. So I'm not really sure what we're going to be getting out of Polo defensively today. Hopefully not any errors, but at least the bat is, coming alive for him in the box early on. 1-0 pitch, fouls one off right down the middle by Smith. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Smith here in the bottom of the second with a runner at first and 2 outs. 1-1 pitch, takes the strike swinging, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Smith. Come on, baby. Let's get out of this inning. And down he goes. There we go. End of the second inning, and the Mariners still hanging on to a 1-0 lead. Down goes Pavin Smith. Nice job by Brian Wu. Let's see who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Batting second, 1 for 1 with a run, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And batting third today, DHing for Seattle, the best catcher in baseball, big dumper Cal Raleigh. And not only being the best catcher in baseball, still leading the MLB ranks with the most home runs with 26. Try to hits up. Let's go M's. End of the second inning, 1-0 Seattle. Eduardo Rodriguez, 1-3 record, 6.70 ERA. Well, not really the same type of guy that we're going with Merrill Kelly or Brandon Pfaadt. Got to be able to rough him up early and often. First pitch from Rodriguez to JP. Low and away with a cutter, 87 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Top of the third inning, 1-0 Seattle. Must-win game for us. We have to prevent the sweep. We got the day off tomorrow. We'll rest our bodies and our minds, and then we're going to be back home starting off a series against the Guardians, which is not going to be easy, but I think that we're going to play much better than we have recently because we're going to play up to the competition, not playing down to the competition with teams that have 500 records or below. So, again, we know how good the Twins and the Guardians and the Tigers have been, and we're going to bring our best effort, I believe, on Friday. 1-1 pitch in play with the cutter. And JP flies out to left, 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. You already are 1 for 1 with a nice single. Let's see if you can have a 3 for 4 or 3 for 5 kind of day. First pitch in play by Julio. And Julio grounds out to third, throw to first. Got him. 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, DHing today, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. We'll take singles, and we'll also take homers. Trident's up. Let's go. Bring that electricity, Cal. Yeah, well, I think it's even been longer than the last 2 days, right? I mean, hell, it feels like it's been pretty shitty for a while. And Raleigh, nice single there. Nice little blooper right up the middle, up to second base. Nice job by Cal. There we go, baby. So we got a single by Julio, a single by Cal, and an RBI single by Polo early within the first 3 innings. That's a good start. Nice job, Cal. Not every time is going to be, one of these where you're grabbing the trident. We'll take singles too. Nice job, Cal. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena, 0 for 1. First pitch to Randy Arozarena, doesn't get baited on the pitch high and away. Thank God. 1-0 count. Be patient, Randy. We need you. 1-0 pitch. Right down the middle. Cutter called ball. I don't know how the hell that's called a ball when it's right down the middle. And Cal trying to steal second and gets caught, and that's the end of the inning. Brutal. Man, we are having really a lot of problems with, having guys getting walked or plunked, or guys trying to be able to get in there. Cal looked like for a moment that he could have been possibly safe, but I need to see the replay here. Cal's not arguing, so. But again, I know we love to be able to get guys in runners in scoring position, getting guys at second, but I don't think I would have sent Cal the run right there. I would have waited, but there it is, end of the Mariners in that particular inning. I hate when we end up having innings end that way, where a runner gets picked off at first by leaning too hard to second, or someone, not really a normal, typical bag stealer like Cal. He's, they don't call him Big Dumper for nothing. He doesn't really have a lot of speed. He actually almost, made the play, but again, almost doesn't cut it in baseball. All right, let's go to the bottom of the third inning, 1-0 Seattle. Thank God we still have the RBI single by Polo. Otherwise, I'd be thinking, damn, what's happening in this game? Yeah, I do appreciate the aggressiveness, too, because we need, to get guys in runners in scoring position, and we need to be able to get runs and hits. And this is not the best lineup, for Brian Wu. It's like one of our weakest lineups. Anytime you see a lineup, that's got Solano and Garver in it, you have to pray that the other guys step up, or it might be the game where Garver and Solano actually play well. But also you got to throw Dylan Moore in there too. It hasn't been good. I would rather play even Leody Taveras in AAA right now over him. But obviously we have Dominic Canzone and Miles Mastrobuoni, and hopefully we see Dom once they switch from a left-handed pitcher to a right-handed, later in the game. Hopefully, then we can get some substitutions. For some of these guys, maybe, Rowdy, coming in at some point, maybe Garver. We'll see what happens there. He's catching today, so he's not DHing, so it's a little different. Maybe Rowdy for Solano, and then maybe Dom for Dylan Moore, which would be nice. First pitch in play to Alec Thomas. Go, go, go. And a nice double there by Thomas. Alec Thomas with the double there in the bottom of the third. Next up is Jose Herrera. First pitch from Wu to Herrera. High and away. Paints the corner. Should have been called strike, but isn't. Ump not giving us any calls. 1-0 count. Come on, Wu. Anna in the building. What's good? I mean, we're here watching this team play. I mean, let's be real, bro. Like, it hasn't just been heartbreaking the last, 2 games. It feels like it's been heartbreaking for like the last fucking month, after, we came out to such a great start, going from 6 runs a game, pitching, bullpen, everything going well. And then now it's, really rough. Herrera sack bunt to the pitcher. And look at that. When you bunt, it works, right? You end up being safe, or you move a runner over most of the time. And now that sack bunt ended up working there. Why don't the Mariners do that? Come on, Dan Wilson. Now it's the bottom of the third with a runner at third and 1 out. And hopefully we can do the same at some point in this game. I want to see us drop a bunt in this game, not once every 5 to 10 games. First pitch to Corbin Carroll, low at the knees, 1-0 count. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 within the first hour, 50 or more overall, and 100 in the donos on every single stream. Let's go. Yeah, we don't need a player like that. He wouldn't be a good fit on our team. Like I said, that would cost way too much money. We would have to be looking at, guys that are maybe more realistic. Like even on this Diamondback team, Josh Naylor. If this team starts to sell and they're not going to be in the playoff hunt in their division, that's a player that we could use at first base or DH. A similar type of bat, like a Pete Alonso type, where, it might be a guy that's a little older but can still play a little. But again, you never know. Lamont Wade Jr. got deactivated by the Giants. That could be another guy. But again, we know the Mariners need to get a right fielder, a first baseman, and probably 5 fucking relief pitchers to help out the ones that suck. But realistically, we'll probably make only 4 or 5 moves. And if we were to make 4, there would be at least 2 guys in the pen and then maybe a right fielder and a first baseman. And we still got guys in AAA that we could call on. You know, Tyler Locklear at first, Harry Ford as a catcher or DH. But, you know, we'll see. 2-1 pitch. And Carroll flies out to second, 2 away. And normally Carroll gets an RBI in that situation or a sac fly to score 1-1. He got it incredibly lucky there. Nice job by Brian Wu. Carroll, a Pacific Northwest product from Seattle, 2 triples yesterday, leading MLB in triples, Corbin Carroll. Thankfully, he didn't get one there. Next up, second baseman, the former Mariner, Ketel Marte. First pitch from Wu to Marte. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. Bottom of the third inning, 1-0 Mariners. RBI single by Jorge Polanco, who's actually not DHing today, playing second base for Cole Young, giving him a breather day off, and has actually been playing pretty good. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Marte. Hooks in the building. What's good? And Marte grounds out to second base. Get him. Yes. And we leave the runner stranded at third. Here we go. And honestly, you know, if we had a chance, you know, to be able to get a guy like an Acuna, I would rather get someone that's better than him, in my opinion, like a Pete Crow Armstrong from the Cubs. You know, you want to be able to get guys. It doesn't have to be about guys that are popular like Acuna. Sometimes you can get guys that, you know, are on the brink of superstardom, and you can kind of feel that they're, you know, getting there. Or even a guy like, you know, Jacob Wilson, who's going to win Rookie of the Year for the Athletics. So sometimes it's not just about name recognition, you know, it's about production. And Acuna, you know, when healthy, is a great player, but there's no way in hell that the Mariners would ever be able to get a player like that to come to Seattle. And it would cost too much money as well. And we know the Mariner organization doesn't like to spend money. They're cheap. End of the third inning, 1-0 Seattle. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners in the top of the fourth. Next up for the Mariners, 0-for-1 in the top of the fourth, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. He's been able to get some doubles as of late and actually been pretty productive in the outfield as well as in the box, which is kind of a crazy thing to say. He's actually been, you know, hustling a little bit more and been a little bit more productive. Still strikes out way too much, but hopefully Randy can come up big today. Batting second, 1-for-1 with an RBI. Playing second base today. Not DHing, Jorge Polanco. First time in a long time, he's actually playing both ways. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a K, catcher Mitch Garver. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. All right, there we go. Captain, appreciate you. Same thing with all day. And anyone else that's helping out with that. All right, 7 more to 30. We're at 23. Let's get there. Almost halfway to the number that we need at 50. And again, we come back home. You know, obviously after this game, you know, we have a day off. Everyone can kind of, you know, recoup and have a breather day. And then we're going to be at home starting a 3-game set against the Guardians. And again, it's not going to be easy, but I'm up for the challenge. And I think it's going to be better playing a better quality team. 1-0 pitch. And Randy flies out to right. 1 away. Down goes Randy Arozarena. Next up for the Mariners, second baseman Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. Already got an RBI single. It seems like he's been able to get on base a little bit more often than when he kind of hit that slump. He's not hitting home runs anymore, but at least if he's getting singles and RBIs, I think any Mariner fan will take that. You know, 384 average and 9 homers, obviously, in April, and has cooled off. And Polo flies out to right. Two away. Next up, catcher Mitch Garver. Come on, Mitch. And for guys like Mitch and Donovan Solano, we just need them to go, 1 for 4, depending on if they play the full game. If they only play, half of it, 1 for 3, and then hopefully they, end up getting walked, or plunked at least once. First pitch from Rodriguez to Garver, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Yeah, I mean, Wu is a guy that's got potential to get, 8 to 10 Ks almost every outing or more. But again, he's going to be working, the corners. And, again, it's tough to say. Diamondbacks are a pretty good hitting team. Normally it should be a yes, undoubtedly. But, there is a chance that he ends up getting a lot of cheap outs and whatnot. Right now he's at 2 Ks right now? So a little lower than normal. When Wu is rolling, he already has, 3-4 Ks within the first 2 innings, 2 per inning usually, something like that. But yeah, hopefully he'll get there, but there is a chance that he may not. And down goes Garver. Just call up Harry Ford from the Tacoma Rainiers already. Gosh, Garver, really the only reason that they haven't done anything like that is because he's the backup catcher and then the pitchers are familiar with him, but literally zero production in the box. And Solano seems like he's hitting more than Garver lately. He's got 1 homer. He's batting 196 and 10 ribbies. Get rid of him. Terrible. Harry Ford could do better as a catcher, defensively, calling a game as well, as in the box, 100%. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning. We have to be thankful that Polo got that RBI single early, but we still need more. But Wu hasn't given up a run in 4 innings, which is solid, and that's exactly what we needed. Next up for the Diamondbacks, 0 for 1 in the 3-hole, shortstop Geraldo Perdomo. Batting second, DHing in the 4-hole, Josh Naylor. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, third baseman Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only. And hopefully he ends up, I would love for him to end with 6 Ks, if he could get 2, obviously in the 5th and 2 in the 6th. And again, we'll have to look at the pitch count to see if he'll actually go 7 innings. We know how bad our bullpen has been. I mean, he's only at 33 pitches. And so if that's the case, and he's been able to get 2 Ks, but again, he's at a 2-hitter right now. But if he goes 7 innings, he should be able to hit that number. Hell, he might even hit the number in 6 innings. So Daniel in the building, what's good? Judah in the building, what's good? And Garver striking out, swinging at that last at-bat. Kind of a regular thing for Mitch Garver. Let's go, M's. Pitch count is extremely low. To be at 33, when you're going to be going into the 5th inning, that's insane. But again, we need a good outing out of Wu. Because we got fucked up by Merrill Kelly and Brandon Pfaadt. So, and this pitcher that we're going against has got an ERA of almost 7. I'm actually kind of surprised we haven't scored more. I figured we would have 1 to 3 runs by the 5th. We're at 1, but again, we got 1 more inning to see if we can get 1 or 2 more, I hope. Got to take advantage when they have a shitty pitcher. But, if the bats are cool, like they have been for the Mariners, it doesn't even matter if the pitcher's got an ERA of 2 or 20. Sometimes it doesn't matter. You just struggle. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Wu to Perdomo. Come on, Brian. So Wu's ERA is one of the best on the team. 3rd best on the team with Logan Gilbert and Logan Evans. In play, Perdomo flies out at first, 1 away. But coming into the game, 5-3 record, our best pitcher. Logan Gilbert coming back, obviously, in about a week. 3.07 ERA, which is 3rd on the team. Under 3 ERA is Logan Gilbert and Logan Evans. And again, right now, let's take a quick update to see what the ERA is at the moment. Wu's ERA has gone down under 3, and now it's at 2.94. So he doesn't give up a whole lot. Every starting pitcher should give up 3 runs or less. Today, it looks like Wu is going to give up one or none. We just got to pray that he doesn't give a fastball right down the middle and someone gets a homer off of it. But again, they can't really hit him. First pitch, low and out the knees to Naylor, who's a great player. 1-0 count. Very underrated player. Everyone talks about Corbin Carroll, but the second best player on the team, not named Eugenio Suarez, Naylor is the guy. You got Carroll, you got Eugenio Suarez, and you got Naylor. Those three guys really hold it down for this team. 1-0 pitch, fouled off, low and away. Slider 88 miles an hour by Wu. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. And we haven't really had like double play opportunities either. Wu, when he's on, typically the Ks are there. And also you're going to, get other games where, he may not have the Ks like he does, in this particular matchup, but you get a lot of ground balls and pop-ups and you get hitters reaching and chasing. And Wu is good at that, so. 1-1 pitch, about 5 feet off the plate with the changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike from Wu to Naylor. Let's go, baby. 1-2 pitch, fouled off. Or 2-1 pitch, fouled off. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Naylor. Yeah, but at this pace, we're going to go 7 innings. I mean, we had Logan Evans go 8 innings. And again, even if Wu has to go 8, we might need him to. Our bullpen is not good. We got Matt Brash, who's awesome. Gabe Spire, who's awesome. And then you got Munoz as the closer. But everyone else is ass. We have another 6-7 guys, that are fucking terrible or unreliable at best. Like Trent Thornton yesterday. 2-2 pitch. High and inside. Tries to jam the hitter with the sinker. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on and 1 out. Wu on the mound, Naylor in the box. 3 more likes to 30. Let's get it, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 50 before the game ends. And we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. And big swing and a miss. Down goes Naylor. SKZ, he needs something. There you go. Nice punch out and electricity there out of Brian Wu. That's K number 3. Next up, the former Seattle Mariner, Eugenio Suarez. 4 Ks by Rodriguez, 3 by Brian Wu. But Wu is only at 43 pitches. It's the 4th, which is crazy. First pitch to Gino, and he singles to left. Nice base knock by Gino with 2 outs. Now it's time for this, little run to end. Left fielder Lourdes Gurriel Jr. And hopefully Wu will get the punch out right here for you. A lot of things. You're not going to average 6 runs a game like we did in 9 consecutive series win streak that we had, and now we're going from that to 1 to 3 in play. And fielder's choice, the runner is out, and we get Suarez at second, and that's the end of the 4th inning, and we get them to stall their drive. But again, pitching for the other teams lately has been very good against the Mariners. We haven't been walked. We haven't been plunked. We haven't been able to steal bags. We haven't been able to bunt. Starting pitching has been good. Bullpen has been terrible, and hitting has been terrible. So again, you're going to go through these runs. And also, if you look at the teams that we've been playing, we're not playing the Dodgers and the Padres and the Yankees and the Tigers and the Giants and the Cubs. We've been playing teams that are at 500 or lower, and we're playing down to the competition. Making Baltimore look like a playoff team this year when they're not. And when you end up playing teams that are below you or beneath you and you get sucker punched in the mouth early, sometimes it's hard to come back. And again, that's why when we have a day off tomorrow and we come home to T-Mobile and we play the Guardians, we're going to play well. So even if we lose, we're going to score runs more than likely, And again, I don't know why the Mariners are like that. Like if we had the mentality that every fucking game is going against, the Astros or the Yankees, where you have that fire in your belly, where you have to get to 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. You can't feel, sorry for yourself. You have to bring it every game. then maybe we would have a better record. But it's a 162-game season. We're going to go through the ups and we're going to go through the downs. The Mariners have only had 5 good seasons in like 40 years. So, again, remember, we had 20 years before we made the playoffs. We had a big, drought going. So, again, but I do feel from 2022 to 2042, we should have, at least 10 playoff appearances out of 20 years. But hopefully it'll be like 15 out of 20 or at least, 13 out of 20. And then we can make some, good damage. And, again, even though it hasn't been pretty, in the last month and a half compared to the first month and a half, I still think that we're going to be able to turn this ship around. Let's go to the top of the 5th, 1-0 Seattle. And again, if we're going to suck, we need to pray that the Astros suck, the Rangers suck, the Angels and Athletics suck. So that way it doesn't hurt us as bad. We don't want to be down 10 games to the Stros in second place or possibly in third and having the Rangers, pass us. We have to try to stay in first or second all year. And again, we get Logan Gilbert back in a week and Luke Wrigley, so we should be good. 0-1 pitch. Back. Oh, my God. See ya. Donovan Solano, 381 feet. Are you fucking kidding me? And if you're going to get a Donovan Solano homer, we are going to win. 2-0 Mariners. Are you fucking kidding me? Solano is even better than Garver now. Garver might be the worst player on the team with Trent Thornton. Oh, my. Way to earn your paycheck, Donovan. That's what I'm talking about. And again, sometimes it's the least likely heroes, right? But you know why Donovan ended up playing well here today? His family is in the crowd today for the first time in a long time. So I think that has something to do with it. And anytime you can have, mom, dad, grandparents, brothers, sisters, cousins, at the game, and normally they don't come to your games, you want to put on a good performance. And I feel that that's the reason why, and again, we'll take that. Normally Donovan is striking out, popping up, grounding out, and being a liability, but takes one right down the middle. And it was beautiful all the way back to about the 5th row. That's going to help us win, baby. Hell yeah. First homer of the year for the Mariners. And we definitely love that. 1-1 pitch to Dylan Moore. Slider, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Rodriguez to Demo. 2-1 pitch. Takes the strike looking low and away. Paints that corner. 4-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour by Rodriguez. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dylan Moore. 2-2 pitch. And big swing and a miss. Down goes Dylan Moore. 1 away. We need to bench Dylan. He right now he's a liability. He started off great, 8 homers early on and was batting around 300. But I wouldn't play Dylan Moore at all. Again, period. Any position, not even no DH, no right field, no second base. Like Dylan Moore right now, not. Even Leody Taveras would have a better chance of doing something positive than Dylan right now. And he's in AAA. He's not even on our team. So I think you got to go with Dominic Canzone. And again, we get Luke Raley back, soon. And so that'll take, some of the rotational spots away as well. But man, Dylan Moore, not very reliable whatsoever. And a 0-1 pitch. And Big Ben Williamson lines out to right, 2 away. We need to work the count a little bit deeper here as well. Come on, Big Ben. We know you got the laser at third, and you can play D, but we need you to be a little bit more patient in the box. Next up, 0 for 2, J.P. Crawford. All right, baby. Let's go, Crawdaddy. Let's get it, baby. Fuck yeah, Solano. My phone is blowing up. Solano actually did something. Fuck yeah. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Rodriguez to Crawford. Come on, JP. And JP's been stuck at 5 home runs. I don't know if he'll be able to get number 6 here today, but normally when we get 1 home run, that'll lead to a 2nd home run or even a 3rd home run later in the matchup. And down goes JP Crawford. But again, Donovan Solano hitting a homer in front of his family. First of the season in a crucial game that we need to win and get run support for Woo so we don't get swept. And you're still a shit player, but again, I'm so thankful that you fucking homered today. Awesome. Great job, Donovan. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 5th inning and see who's up next here for the Diamondbacks. Next up for the Diamondbacks, 0 for 1 with a K, first baseman Pavin Smith. Batting second in the 8-hole center fielder Alec Thomas. And batting third in the 9-hole catcher Jose Herrera. Let's go Mariners. 2-0 lead, and let's go over some stats from the pitchers so far. All right, Rodriguez, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, 62 pitches, 43 strikes, 1-3 record coming in with a 6.70 ERA. His ERA has gone down to 6.42, and again, we're up 2-0. So I like what I'm seeing there. And then on the flip side with Brian Wu, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks, 45 pitches, 29 strikes, and his ERA was 3.07 with a 5-3 record, and now it's down to 2.91. So now I believe we have 3 pitchers with ERAs in the 2. Logan Gilbert, number 1 on the team, which was hovering like around 2.37, something like that. It was under 2.40. Then you have Logan Gilbert with Logan Evans, and Logan Evans' ERA is in somewhere between like 2.6 and 2.8, somewhere in that range. And then obviously now you got a third one where you got 3 guys in the rotation under 3. And hopefully at some point we can get 1 pitcher that has an ERA under 2. Maybe Logan Gilbert once he ends up hopefully getting healthy, where he's sitting at like a 1.90 ERA or something of that nature. And then we can get the other guy's ERA down as well into the mid-2s or the low 2s to help us win. So, all right, baby, bottom of the 5th, 2-0 Mariners, RBI single by Polo in the first. A solo dinger by Donovan Solano for the first of the year with his family in attendance, and we're excited about that. First pitch from Wu to Smith, high and away, 1-0 count. Let's go, baby. One-0 pitch, fouls it off right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Smith. And as of Donovan, lately, he's even been better than Garver. Again, better than Demo. And it's crazy to think a guy that was the worst player on the team besides like a Trent Thornton has actually turned it around a little. He's still bad, but again, I trust Solano in the box now more than Garver or Demo. And, that's kind of saying something, especially Dylan Moore. He was hot early on in March and April, but hasn't done shit in quite some time and is striking out left and right. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and in the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Smith. Let's go, Brian. And this is a must-win game for the Mariners. And again, we went against really good pitching, against Merrill Kelly, who's a stud. And then even Brandon Pfaadt yesterday is a good player. So again, we couldn't really hit on those guys, and the bullpen cost us both games, as well as, pitching could have been a little bit better, and Smith pops out to third, 1 away. But again, with a pitcher like this, for the Diamondbacks, he's got an ERA of almost 7. I figured we would get 1 to 3 runs by, 5 innings. We're at 2, so that's perfect. And hopefully we can score 3 more after they get their shitty bullpen guy in. Hopefully they'll have a Trent Thornton of their own, and we can end up getting, maybe a 5-0 victory or a 5-1 victory, something like that. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, but I don't trust Dylan Moore in the box at all, and he hasn't been good. First pitch to Alec Thomas in play and grounds out to first, 2 away. We're at 31, 9 more to go, All Day says. Okay, baby. Appreciate Captain and All Day helping out. It's always good when you can get more than one person to show some love on that end while I'm calling the game. Next up is catcher Jose Herrera. We're in the bottom of the 5th, 2-0 Seattle. Still looking for our first dono on our dono train. And we're still trying to get to our magic number of 50. First pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and inside by Wu, four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. And Wu's going to consistently, pitch 94, 95 pretty much throughout the whole game. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th inning, 2-0 Seattle. Well, we do need a win, and it's been really bad in the last month, but Solano getting a home run really, it really helps a lot. I would have felt the same way if Mitch Garver hit a home run. He only has 1 on the year. That was Solano's first, so shows you how bad those guys are doing. We should have never even signed those guys. And down go the Diamondbacks. There we go, Wu. But, if we were on a better win streak, then, yeah, a Solano home run normally is better than a win. I would agree with that. But since we've been losing so many fucking games, it makes it even more special where we've been getting our ass kicked. But the reason why Solano homered today, in my opinion, his family is there. And, again, normally the family does not show up. And I don't know if they're based out of Arizona or they flew in to Arizona to watch Donovan play. But, again, just like when you're in, Little League or, you're playing at a different level, high school or college, if your family isn't able to show up normally and all of a sudden they're there, there's a little pressure to do well for your family, but again, it also gives you that extra juice where like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then obviously you saw the pitch right down the middle, swung, connected, and the rest is history. But we still need more because, again, we can't afford to have Colin Snyder, Trent Thornton, Bizzardo, Jackson Kowar, or any of these guys that are a liability in our bullpen. With one bad pitcher, the 2-0 lead could get erased within like 2 minutes. And we know this because we've been struggling with it. But hopefully we can find a way to get a few more runs. So that way, if our bullpen fucks up and gives up a run or two, we still have another, 2 or 3 run lead at that point. End of the 5th inning, all Mariners, 2-0 Seattle. Next up for the Mariners, center fielder Julio Rodriguez, 1 for 2 with a run. Batting second, DHing big dumper Cal Raleigh, the best catcher in baseball and leading MLB in homers with 26, pacing for 66 this year. And batting third, in the 4-hole, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's go Mariners. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It always happens. First pitch to Julio. Connects. Go, 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 go. Yes, sir. It's not a homer, but we'll take a double by Julio Rodriguez. Julio having himself a good game. Here we go. And when Julio usually has a couple hits, this might end up happening. And if we can get Cal the homer here and go up 4-0, that's exactly what we're going to need to be able to feel pretty comfortable in this game. Let's see if Cal can do it. Let's go. Top of the 6th inning, 2-0 Seattle lead. And Julio Rodriguez hitting one right in between the gap over the center fielder's head, and good speed by Julio. Stand-up double for that first batter. Let's go. First pitch, low and away to Cal Raleigh, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and inside, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike from Rodriguez to Raleigh. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Rodriguez to Raleigh. And obviously Cal's batting from the right side at this at-bat, not the left. But still very solid from the right side. Come on, Cal. He's 1 for 1 and has a single and a walk in his first 2 plate appearances, and hopefully we'll be able to get something out of Cal here. Trident's up. One-two pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour by Rodriguez. Count now is 1 ball, 2 strikes with nobody on. No. Julio on at second with no outs. 2-0 Seattle lead. Come on, Cal. Top of the sixth, 2-0, Mariner lead. And again, it's been rough for us, not only in the last couple games, but in the last month and a half, it feels like it's not been good, you know. In play on the 1-2 pitch, and Cal grounds out to third, 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. Defense has been slightly better than normal within the last couple weeks, and you've been able to bang out a couple doubles on this road trip. See if we can get something here. RBI double by Randy to get it to 3-0 would be great. I mean, unless he ends up, hitting a homer and we can go up 4-0 here. That's best case scenario, but Randy is pretty streaky. Probably more likely to strike out rather than get a home run or RBI double, but you never know. In play on the first pitch, and popped out to first, 2 away. Let's not waste Julio getting a double at that first at-bat. Come on now. And next up, playing second base for the first time in a long time, Jorge Polanco. RBI single in the first, and Julio came home to give us the 1-0 lead early on, and then we had a Donovan Solano solo jack for first of the year with his family in attendance to give us a 2-0 lead. Let's go, Polo. Polo hasn't really been hitting home runs anymore. Like, he had the 384 average, 9 homers in April, and hasn't really done a whole lot since. But he has been getting singles as of late, and we'll take that. A single is better than a strikeout, let me tell you. Especially when he ended up hitting the wall and was slumping. First pitch from Rodriguez to Polo. Big swing and a miss, low and away with the changeup. 0-1 count. Come on, Polo. Bring that electricity, baby. We need it. Oh, 0-1 pitch in play, and Polo grounds out to third, and that is it. We leave Julio stranded, but we still have a 2-0 lead. And it's always nice when you can get homers. Mariners, 48% of their runs are homers. So when we homer, we win. When we don't homer, a lot of times we lose. So it's hard for us to be able to get hits and just win that way. And we usually leave a lot stranded like we did yesterday. But so far, so good here. And the longer that we can have Wu pitch, hopefully he pitches 7 or 8 innings if possible. He's only at 55 pitches. So we're, about to go, he might be able to pitch 8 innings. And I think we might need him to, just considering how bad the bullpen is. If he's at a low pitch count, let him keep going. And then you can have Brash, or Spire in the 8th or the 9th. And then obviously you have Munoz to close the game out. But, go as long as possible with Wu, especially if he's only at 55 pitches this deep in the game. Let him go 7 or 8 innings. Let's see who's up next year for the Diamondbacks. Next up for the Diamondbacks, right fielder who's got Seattle ties, 0 for 2, Corbin Carroll. Batting second, 0 for 2, second baseman, Ketel Marte. And batting third, 0 for 2, shortstop, Geraldo Perdomo. Let's go Mariners. Woo, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks, which is a little low. But again, a lot of cheap pop-ups and groundouts. 55 pitches, 35 strikes, compared to 71 pitches for Rodriguez. But he pitched 6 innings. We'll see how many pitches Wu can have in this particular inning. ERA is 2.88. Let's go. And hopefully we'll have somewhere between 10 to 15 pitches in these 3 batters, and we can continue to have Wu go as long as possible. Eight more likes to 40. Let's get there, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 50 likes before the stream ends. And we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. Bottom of the 6th, 2-0 Seattle. First pitch in play to Corbin Carroll. Swings. And a nice single to center by Corbin Carroll. Now we need a slow dribbler up the middle for a double play to help us get out of this inning. Let's go, Wu. And Wu really hasn't been walking a lot of guys, plunking a lot of guys, getting himself in bad situations where we have bases loaded or runners on the corners on a regular basis. So, this has been a pretty clean game out of Bryan Wu, thank God, because we know how bad, the pitching can be, especially in the bullpen and every once in a while with our starters. So hopefully he can continue to dominate. First pitch to Ketel Marte, the former Mariner, takes a strike looking on the line, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and inside, tries to paint the corner and does, behind in the count 0-2 from Wu to Marte. Come on, Brian. This is a must-win game. We got the day off tomorrow, and then again we are going to start obviously a homestand there at T-Mobile. Thank God we're coming home, and we got the Guardians. So I know that we're going to play up to our potential. Even if we end up losing a game or two, we're going to play much better against that team. Playing up to the competition rather than playing down, which we feel like we've been playing down to the competition this whole road trip. 1-2 pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Marte. That last slider, 89 miles an hour by Bryan Wu. 2-2 pitch in play. And Marte singles to center, Carroll the second. We got to be careful here. Now we got runners at first and second with no outs. His pitch count is low. It's 58. But again, we have to, it would be nice for a punch out or a double play here. Let's go. Carroll was 0 for 2. Now he's 1 for 3. Marte was 0 for 2. Now he's 1 for 3. Now we got Perdomo up, who's 0 for 2. You better not go 1 for 3. Come on, Wu. Settle in. Bottom of the 6th inning. Runners at first and second with no outs. This is the best chance the Diamondbacks have had, besides when they had Corbin Carroll at third with 1 out and we left him stranded. But we haven't had too many runners on with no outs up to this point, and hopefully Wu can continue his dominance. Let's not give up the game right here, especially when our bullpen is shaky. But hopefully we see Brash and Spire and Munoz today. We need all 3. Come on, Mariners. First pitch from Wu to Perdomo. Tries to jam the hitter at the knees. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Low and away. Paints that corner with the changeup. 88 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and second and no outs. Mariners hanging on to a 2-0 lead. RBI single by Polo. Julio came home in the first. 1-0 Mariners. And we got a Donovan Solano homer to give us a 2-0 lead. Perdomo on the 1-1 pitch. And lines out to center. Julio is there, thank God, 1 away. Now we need a double play, little slow dribbler to third, and a throw to second, and we get out of this fucking inning. Let's go. Got to be careful, too. One of their best players, the 4-hole hitter, Josh Naylor. And again, with 1 swing, he can make the game 3-2. We have to be very careful on how you throw to a pitcher-hitter combo like this. Like, you got to be careful with Corbin Carroll. You got to be, careful with Eugenio Suarez, and definitely careful with Josh Naylor. Bottom of the 6th, 2-0 Mariner lead. Runners at first and second with 1 out. This is the best game the Mariners have played in a minute. And again, it's not over yet because obviously we don't know who's coming into the pen. But we better not see any of the Bizardos, Snyders, Thorntons, Kowars. We need to see Brash. We need to see Spire and Munoz. And hopefully, Wu can get out of this jam, not give up any runs. And hopefully he'll continue to go another inning or 2. So that way we have less guys to worry about. First pitch, fouled up and fouled off, 0-1 count. Wu's at a very low pitch count right now, 65, and we're in the 6th inning. He's not at 90 or 100, so he could go 7-8 innings easy. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and second and 1 out. 2-0 Seattle lead. We need a double play. We get out of this inning. Let's go. Well, yeah, we'll see where it goes. I mean, if we go Brash in the 8th or Spire in the 8th and then Munoz in the 9th, but we got to make sure we protect this 2-0 lead if possible. 1-1 pitch, low and away. Wu misses that pitch, that changeup about 2 feet off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike from Wu to Naylor. Two-one pitch, high and inside. 3 balls and 1 strike from Wu to Naylor. Come on, Brian. Naylor in the box. Wu on the mound. Come on, Brian. Get out of this jam. 3 balls, 1 strike. 3-1 pitch. Tries to paint the corner and does, and fouled off. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner has at first and second with 1 out. And again, we need a double play or a punch out by Wu. Let's go. Yeah, it really sucks, only having 2 guys in the bullpen that we can't even use every day, and a closer who's one of the best in baseball, and Munoz that we can't use every day, And unfortunately, we have shitty players like Vargas and Thornton and Bizzardo and Colin Snyder and Kowar. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on of the shitty guys that we have. Should have never spent money on guys like Miles Mastroboni, and that's a fucking walk. Brutal. Bases loaded now. But should have never spent the money on Miles Mastroboni, or Solano, or Garver, or even Polo for that matter. Even though Polo has been the best out of those, 4 guys total, but that's terrible signings. Should have used all of that money to sign pitchers, and we could have just brought guys up from the farm. All right, Naylor walks. Now we have bases loaded with 1 out with Gino up. Holy moly. Come on, Wu. First pitch, high and inside. 1-0 count to Eugenio Suarez. And just like that, back, see ya. You got to be kidding me. Grand salami by Suarez. Unfucking believable. If we lose this game, oh, man. And again, anytime you end up having a player like this up, especially with bases loaded, he did it for the Mariners, and he's doing it now for the Diamondbacks. What electricity by Gino. I want Gino to have a good game, but not so good of a game where we lose. And 410 feet, Carroll scores, Marte scores, Naylor scores, and just like that, we're down 2 runs. And this is Brian Wu on the mound. And you have to understand now, if they decide not to go with Brash and Spire, and they throw in some of the others, we already lost. We're not going to be able to come back. Brutal. Next up, 0 for 2, left fielder Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Oh, brutal, man. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. And we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train, and maybe that will end these woes that we're having right now here with the Mariners. Brutal. Oh, 0-1 pitch in play and grounded out to third. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Ah, brutal, man. 2 away. Can't catch a break. Next up, first baseman, Pavin Smith. And first pitch to Smith. Back. See ya! You got to be kidding me. I mean, if we can't win with Wu on the mound, we're not going to win ever. Fuck, man. And now, just like that, after giving up a grand salami, Pavin Smith, first pitch, homers to right. Now we're down 5-2. So now we're not going to use, Brash or Spire or Munoz. And the chances of us hitting and catching up is possible. But again, if the pitching continues to be, shitty bullpen guys, it's not going to stay at 5. It might end up exploding to 7, 8, 9, or 10, even if we end up getting to 5 ourselves. So chance of winning this game went down quite a bit. The only way that we will be able to kind of keep it close is if you do bring in Brash and Spire in this game, and then they don't give up anything, and then we pray that we can hold them to 5 for the rest of the game and score 3 more runs in the next 3 innings. But that's a big if. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees, 2 balls and no strikes from Wu to Thomas. No, they're not going to play Wu after that. I mean, why? You already cost us the game. I mean, his pitch count is low. It's still, it's at 78. We'll see how much longer it goes. But, I wouldn't be. I mean, if it's against some of the shitty guys in the pen, I would keep Wu out there. But if we have an opportunity to bring in Brash or Spire, then I would pull him. But again, it kind of depends on what they decide to do. Most of the time when we get down is Thomas grounds out to second and we get out of the inning finally. But normally when we get down by a run or two, they don't use, the good pitchers, to keep the game close. Their mentality is like, we're going to save them. But what are we saving them for? We have the day off tomorrow. So you might as well have Brash and Spire go out there, try to hold them, to a 3-run lead and pray that our bats come alive, in the last 3 innings. And somehow we can tie it up 5-5 in the 9th and then try to win 6-5, later on. But if we don't bring in Brash or Spire, or we bring Wu back out, or one of our shitty guys in the pen like Carlos Vargas, the 5 is going to turn into 10, and then there's no chance of coming back. So Zay with a 20. Thank you so much for your support, my guy. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Now we got your Guardians on Friday, and if we play like this, we're going to get swept by them too at home. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. We need it, considering how things have been going for the Mariners lately. Thank you so much. We're at 20, 80 to go. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Man, and again, Wu got a little shaky, and anytime you have bases loaded with Carroll, Naylor, or Gino, you're going to get a grand slam at some point or another. And also Gino being a former Mariner, obviously hitting a grand slam against your former team, or Donovan Solano hitting a homer in front of his family. There's going to be different incentives for players, whether it's family in town. Solano gets his first homer of the year for the Mariners. Gino with bases loaded. This is a guy that ended up hitting 4 home runs in a single game, early in the year. So we know Gino can still hit 30, 40 home runs every year. He's got that skill set, and he's a good defender at third. I just really wish that didn't happen. Why did it have to be a grand salami? Why couldn't it have been a 2-run RBI? So the game is 2-2 or maybe 3-2. But of course, not only that, but then also a couple batters later, Pavin Smith went for a solo jack, which was unfortunate too. So could have been 4-2, but now 5-2. Next up, in the box for Seattle, Mitch Garver. First pitch, fouled off, high and inside with the cutter, 0-1 count. And even our good pitchers have been getting rocked lately. It's like, fuck, man, if we can't even win with Wu, how the hell are we going to win? Especially when our bullpen and the hitting has been so obsolete. And 0-1 pitch, and Garver with a double. My goodness. Nice job by Garv. Still one of the shittiest players on the team, but again, nice to see some production. Next up, first baseman Donovan Solano, 1 for 2 with a run, RBI. His family is in the house, and he hit his first homer, of the season. Could we get another homer out of a Donovan Solano? Now, if he hits a homer here, we're right back in business. But again, then it depends on who they decide to bring in, and maybe it really depends on what we do in this inning, and that'll determine who comes out. Wu again, Brash or Spire, or one of the shitty guys in the pen, and the game is over. So hopefully the Mariners can get like a run or two this inning, so we actually can have a good pitcher come out, not a shitty one. 1-0 pitch, high and away, 2 balls and no strikes to Donovan Solano. And really, this inning will determine if the Mariners come back or not. Third series in a row. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I know it's always fun when we play you guys, just like when we play the Tigers and the Twins. But man, you guys might have lost 3 consecutive series, but the Mariners have had a shitty month and a half after winning 9 consecutive series in a row. We've really fell off the face of the earth. And Logan Gilbert and Luke Raley are back in about a week, and that can't come any faster. It's fucking been brutal. We need a solid, number 1 pitcher in Logan Gilbert to pair up with Woo and the others, and we need another bat and defender in Luke Raley. So. Pitch fouled off by Donovan Solano. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Rodriguez to Solano. Top of the 7th, 5-2 Diamondback lead. We had a 2-0 lead for a majority of the game. Woo was pitching great. RBI single in the first by Polo, 1-0 Mariners. Solano ended up hitting a solo jack with family in attendance to make it 2-0. And then we had bases loaded by Woo. Eugenio Suarez hits a grand slam against his former team. And then Pavin ended up getting a solo jack 2 batters later. And now instead of being up 2-0, we're down fucking 3 runs. Brutal. 2-2 pitch, high and away with the 4-seam fastball, 90 miles an hour there by Rodriguez. Count now is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second, Garver, and no outs. Mariners just can't catch a break. Come on, Mariners. In play. And ground out to third. 1 away. God, why is Dylan Moore still in there? I wish Rodriguez was out of there so we could bring in our left-handed bats. All these right-handed bats are some shit. Dylan Moore is, and again, I really feel like the left-handed lefty pitcher, righty hitters, I think that's just nonsense. If you have better players that are lefties, you're telling me a good lefty in the box can't hit a left-handed pitcher? Fuck out of here. Again, not having, Rowdy in the game, not having Dominic Canzone in the game, and having to stick with some of these other guys. I mean, come on. And Dylan Moore has been striking out left to right. I would take my chances with Dominic Canzone batting from the left side against this pitcher rather than Timo batting from the right. But we'll see what happens. Top of the 7th, 5-2 Diamondbacks. Come on, Mariners. Five likes to 40, 15 to get to 50 all day. Let's get it, baby. I mean, it's like the type of emotions of being a Pacific Northwest fan. It's like you go from joy and elation and just being so happy, winning 9 consecutive series in a row. And then that was awesome. And then now in the last month and a half or last month, it's just been dog shit. Instead of going from 6 runs a game, pitching is good, bullpen was average. Obviously everything with hitting was great, and then you go to this where pitching isn't good. Bullpen is horrible. Hitting is horrible. And even when we have good players out there, we still can't win. Rough. And now look at that. Dominic Canzone coming into the game. I sent Dan a message. I guess he got the message. It's like, why? Dylan Moore ain't going to give you anything. It's pointless. All right, first pitch to Dominic Canzone inside, 1-0 count. Come on, Dom. And then they bring in Murillo, so they end up making a pitching change as well. 1-0 pitch. Another ball from Murillo to Canzone. Come on, Dom. With one swing, we can get it to 5-4, and that'll give us at least a little bit of life. 2-0 pitch. And there is another ball. 3-0 count to Dominic Canzone. And again, all we need is one shitty pitcher, for the Diamondbacks. Just like a Trent Thornton for us. We need a shitty pitcher to let us back in the game. And, again, I'm not sure if it's going to be Murillo here, but if it ends up being him, then we can get caught up, to 5-3, 5-4, or even 5-5 this inning. We might actually be able to find a way to dig this one out. 3-1 count. And there's another strike. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. Come on, baby. And I know we've only been winning, like one game in a series or getting swept. But gosh, it's been so rough lately. And there we go. Canzone getting a walk. I love it. There we go. Nice job, Dom. And now we got Mastrobuoni coming in for Williamson, and I like that move as well. We need to get these lefty bats in there. We have to rally. All right, let's go, Miles. First pitch to Miles Mastrobuoni, and fucking A, dude. You kidding me? Grounds out into the double play, and that's the end of the inning. Brutal. Damn it, Miles. The worst possible time for us to hit into a fucking double play after having that last inning with Gino and Pavin Smith. All right, now we have to decide on what's going on with the pitching. Is Wu going to be back out there? Are they going to bring in Brash or Spire so we can keep the game within 3? Or are they going to bring in one of the shitty guys in the pen and then we're fucked? He's only at 79 pitches, so I assume that we'll see Wu back out here for another inning. Oh. Let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning and see who's up next here for the Diamondbacks. Next up for the Diamondbacks in the 9-hole, catcher Jose Herrera. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a run, right fielder Corbin Carroll. And batting third, 1 for 3 with a run, second baseman Ketel Marte. And Brash is coming in. So at least they're trying to, see what they can do, so... It's nice that they're not bringing in Vargas or something of that nature, so, or, like a Trent Thornton type. Yeah, but we don't really know what Logan Gilbert's going to look like when he comes back. Is it going to be like George Kirby? Is it going to be like Bryce Miller? What is he going to look like? Is he going to return to form, or is he going to be a little off before he gets, to being the player that we know that he can be, and he is? So, and I think with Luke Raley, he's not the biggest name, but again, if he gets hot, like Polo did in April, that could help us turn it around. I mean, we're only getting 1 to 3 runs like every fucking game. And normally Luke Raley isn't the greatest player. He's definitely streaky, not a guy that's going to single-handedly turn it around, but getting another bat in the lineup that could, help us, I would rather, take a positive rather than nothing. First pitch from Brash to Herrera, fouled off, 0-1 count. I mean, we haven't seen Brash or Spire, it feels like, in ages. So let's see if we can keep this within 3 runs and then try to get, 2 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th. And Herrera grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, 1 away. Next up, right fielder Corbin Carroll. Yeah, and the last couple starts out of Wu haven't really been good. And it really all started in that Astro game with him and Leo Rivas with the 2 errors in the first inning. And we gave up 2 runs. And then we ended up losing 2-1. At that start, it hasn't been good since for Wu. And prior to that, he was electric. But within the last 2 or 3 starts out of Wu, he's been roughed up a little bit. But also we're not getting run support like we did, earlier in the year also. So there's a combination. Starting pitching, not good. Bullpen, terrible. Hitting, terrible. Managing decisions by Dan Wilson, terrible. Trent Thornton, terrible. So hopefully something will change. 1-1 pitch. And that is low and away with the changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike from Brash to Carroll. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. Nice pitch by Brash. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. And only 3 Ks by Wu, which is a guy that normally can get 8 to 10. And Wu's ERA is 3.39. So, he's still got the 3rd best ERA on the team. Logan Gilbert 1, Logan Evans 2, surprisingly, and then Brian Wu 3. In play, and Corbin Carroll lined out to first, 2 away. Next up, 1 for 3 with a run, second baseman Ketel Marte. But again, we needed to get to 5 runs to win this game, and even 5 today would only tie the game. So again, getting 1 to 3 runs isn't going to cut it. Hell, even 4 runs lately isn't cutting it. Shows you how important it is to be able to get to that number, 5 or more. Can't win a lot of baseball games in 2025 scoring 1 to 3. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes from Brash to Marte. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Get us to 40, 2 more people, and then we need 12 more to be able to hit the goal of 50. 2-0 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and no strikes from Brash to Marte. And again, if we would have put in someone other than Brash or Gabe Spire, this game is over. It already looks like it's over, but if we can keep it 5-2, there's a slight chance that we can get 2 runs or 1 run in the 8th and then 1 or 2 in the 9th, but it's going to take a hell of a lot of an effort. Having our worst lineup for Wu didn't help, since we had a left-handed pitcher that we were going against and we had to use all righties except for JP, wasn't ideal. In play, and Marte singles to right. Nice little base knock by Ketel Marte. And hopefully this will be the last batter in the 7th inning. Shortstop Geraldo Perdomo. First pitch, low and away with the changeup, 88 miles an hour by Brash, 1-0 count. Bottom of the 7th, 5-2 Diamondbacks. And just a quick recap of the game if you're just tuning in. RBI single, Julio came home in the first, 1-0 Mariners. And Donovan Solano ended up hitting a solo jack with family in attendance, 2-0 Mariners. Then Eugenio Suarez, the former third baseman Mariner, ended up hitting a grand salami. They go up 4-2. And then Pavin Smith, 2 batters later, hits a solo jack to make it 5-2. So that's where we're sitting right now. 1-0 pitch, high and away with the slider. 2 balls and no strikes from Brash to Perdomo. Come on, Matt. And Brash is by far our best guy in the pen. Spire, number 2. And then obviously we got a great closer in Munoz. But the problem is we can't use Brash, Spire, or Munoz every day. And we need to. And that's why you have to fall back on shitty guys like Carlos Vargas, Trent Thornton, Colin Snyder, Jackson Kowar, Eduardo Bizardo. And that's fucking brutal. When you got shitty players like that you have no trust in. 2-0 pitch. Fouls that one off right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike from Brash to Perdomo. 2-1 pitch. High and inside. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and 2 outs. 5-2 Diamondback lead. Chris, brutal, man. Again, Wu, got himself into a little bit of a jam, and Eugenio Suarez hit a grand slam when we were up 2-0. And then Pavin Smith, 2 batters later, had a solo jack. And now we're looking at a 5-2 score. But with Brash coming in, if he can get us out of this inning and we can find a way to get 1 to 2 runs in the 8th and the 9th, we're going to have a very small chance, probably 10%, chance to come back. But, we'll see. Now, if we would have put anybody in other than Brash or Spire, game over. Because, knowing that those guys coming in, the game would probably go from 5-2 to 10-2. So at least we will have a little bit of life here, hopefully. Pitch fouled off. Count still full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Perdomo. 3 consecutive foul balls here by Perdomo. Come on, Brash. I was going to wait to bring out the Moose until the 8th, but I probably should have brought him out already earlier. Still in a little bit of shock out of that grand salami by Gino, but... Yeah, but it has been tough. I do this as a full-time job, and it's like when the Mariners are getting their ass kicked, a lot of you guys can turn the TV off or turn the game off. I don't get that option. I have to continue to watch, the madness. And so, I have to try to find bright spots out of, shitty moments. But we got the day off tomorrow, and then we're going to end up playing the Guardians back home. And we should play up to the competition, not down to the competition. And so even if we lose, we should be able to score more, you would think. So hopefully starting Friday, Guardians have lost 3 series straight. That's what Zay has mentioned to us. He's a big fan of the team. And hopefully it ends up being competitive. And there's Brash, even though he had a couple guys on, ends up getting us out of the jam. And he's one of only 2 guys that could do that, him and Spire. And even Spire, has been shaky at times this year. All right, we're down to the last 2 innings, and we need a fucking rally. Let's go, Mariner Moose. At least we have a good part of the lineup here to give us a chance. Leading off for the Mariners, 0 for 3. Shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Drop the fucking bunt down. Nobody bunts, and we never do it. And again, you drop the bunt down, you'll be safe. Batting second, 2 for 3 with a run. Center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a walk. DHing big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And hopefully we can get Cal to bat from the left side, not the right side. All right, so here it is. JP, Julio, Cal. We have to get 1 to 2 runs. And if we get that, we're going to have a chance in the 9th. And again, even if we don't get anything in the 8th, we'll have a chance in the 9th also. Just like when we were down 4-0 and scored 4, but then ended up giving up the grand salami to Naylor because we had shitty bullpen like Carlos Vargas and lost 8-4. But giving up 2 grand slams to this team in 2 games, not ideal. And now Beeks is coming in for Murillo. We'll see where this goes. Yeah. Well, in the last month and a half, you should have not bet on the Mariners once. The time to bet on the Mariners when we were winning 9 consecutive series, back then, that was the time to be betting. And, if it's just betting purposes only, you should be probably betting against the Mariners most of the time, just based on we're only scoring 1 to 3 runs. The Mariners can be like your favorite team, but if we're playing bad and you're betting on them, you're just going to continue to lose money. You got to wait for, the team to kind of get good again. All right, top of the 8th, 5-2 Diamondbacks. Come on, baby. All right, baby. JP. Julio. Cal. Let's go. Come on, JP. First pitch from Beeks to JP Crawford. Takes a strike swinging right down the middle, 94 miles an hour. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. And grounds out to the shortstop. Throw to first. 1 away. Brutal. And again, when JP doesn't play well, we don't play well. You need to be able to have a nice, solid piece for a leadoff hitter. And it's hard to win games when you don't get any production from your leadoff hitter, period. Batting second, 2 for 3 with a run, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. First pitch, takes a strike, looking with the changeup, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, low and at the knees by Beeks. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Julio in the box, Beeks on the mound. And it's like, sometimes Julio will have like a great game and then no one else does. You know, it's like kind of like a wasted opportunity. And then the games where we really fucking need Julio to come up big, he just disappears and gives us nothing. So it's kind of rough when you end up having games like that. You know, when you finally get a good game out of your star, you know, like Julio Rodriguez, and then it's almost for nothing. You know, it's like no one else plays good and you play great. And then everyone else plays great and then you do nothing. It's like we need everyone to play good together. But, you know, it's been rough in the last month and a half now. 1-1 pitch in play. Go, Julio. Go, Julio. Go, Julio. Yes. Nice double by Julio. There we go. There we go. Nice double by Julio Rodriguez. And now, with 1 swing, we're right back in it if Cal can homer here for home run number 27. If he can get it here to make it 5-4, we're right back in business. Let's go, Cal. Trident's up. Let's go. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, low and at the knees. 1-0 count. Come on, baby. Now, if we were able to get better run support, you know, Wu, probably wouldn't have lost or been bad in his last 3 starts, you know. But again, we haven't been good in the last month. So you can't win games only scoring 1 to 3 runs. You know, when we were winning earlier in the year, we were averaging 6 or more. And there was games where we were getting 8, 9, 10, 12, 14 runs. You know, that has fucking disappeared. 2-0 pitch. Takes a strike swinging low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Julio with a double. But again, we need to be able to bring him home. How much money to put on the Mariners comeback? 0. You know, I wouldn't be putting any money on a comeback. I hope we do. But and Raleigh pops out at second, 2 away. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And we're down to our last guy, more than likely, that would be able to get the game to 5-4 or even 5-3 with an RBI double here. Yeah. Again, you could have won money betting on the Mariners early in the year, you know, but obviously in the last month, if you placed any bets on the Mariners, you're probably not winning, you know. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at second, Julio, and 2 outs. Come on, Randy. 1-1 pitch in play and grounds out to the shortstop, and that is the end of the Mariners. Brutal. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th inning, 5-2 Diamondbacks. Over 80. I mean, there's still time to be able to turn shit around if Logan Gilbert is, you know, healthy, plays well. We bring up Harry Ford. You know, Luke Raley comes back. You know, there's still a chance where, you know, we could still get to, you know, somewhere, you know, probably not getting to 90 wins. We're probably going to get somewhere between 80 and 88, you know, and we may not win the division this year, you know, especially with the way things are going. There's a chance that we don't make the playoffs at all and finish in 3rd place, you know, but again, if we can just find a way to, you know, just tread water and stay afloat somehow, you know, there's still a chance to get to, you know, 2nd place, wild card. You know, probably not going to win the division, but you can still get to, you know, 85 to 88 wins if you can get hot at some point in the season. But we'll see. But even if they play shitty the rest of the year, they should still get to 80. But 80 doesn't get you into the playoffs. You know, you got to get as close to 88 to 90 wins. And now we got Gabe Spire coming into the game. So least they're trying to kind of hang around, not bring in one of our shitty guys and the game's over. Rash did his job. Hopefully Gabe will do his. Next up for the Diamondbacks, DHing 1 for 3. No. 1 for 2 with a run, base on ball, and a K. Josh Naylor. Batting second with the grand salami, Eugenio Suarez. And batting third, left fielder, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Let's go, M's. Damn it. Yeah, but I've been a fan of this team for like 40 years. So, again, it's not like we've been great every single year. You know, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. And, you know, this is the first team that we've seen that has had this many injuries. Normally, we just play good or play bad, but nobody's really injured. You know, but now it's like we were really hot early on, but then the injuries and the bad play have caught up to us. You know, bad hitting, bad pitching, bad bullpen, you know, bad managing, you know, bad decision making, you know, and then the other team just punching us in the mouth. And, you know, we have to hope that Logan Gilbert is great when he comes back, and Luke Raley plays well when he comes back. And, you know, and then at the deadline, we're going to have to make a shitload of moves. You know, grab 4 or 5 guys, 3 guys in the pen, and maybe a first baseman and a right fielder. First pitch to Josh Naylor from Gabe Spire. Fouls that one off, 0-1 count. We're at 40, 10 more likes to go. 1-1 pitch in play, and Naylor singles to right. Now we need a double play. Come on, Gabe, keep it at 3. And next up, third baseman with the grand salami that opened this game up, Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only, Gino. You know, but calling up Harry Ford or Tyler Locklear could help. You know, it's rough game. And Gino singles to left. Oh, Christ, and this is the bad Gabe. The good Gabe, you know, gets out of the inning like brash. But the bad Gabe, which we see one time out of every maybe 4 appearances, does shit like this, where you give up back-to-back hits, and, you know, then he's going to start looking like all the other guys. Legumina, Snyder, Vargas, Thornton, Bizzardo. The last thing that we need is our second-best guy in the pen to look like all the other shitty guys, you know? Come on, Gabe. Gabe was electric at the beginning of the year. Then he was shitty for about 3 weeks and then has got good again. But now here, back-to-back singles here late. And again, the Diamondbacks are a good hitting team. But it's still Mariners till I die. First pitch to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Takes a strike looking high and inside, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle, behind in the count, 0-2. Yeah, and again, you know, on top of it, it's like if we can't even win with our best pitchers like Brian Wu, we're never going to win. And, you know, when the other guys are pitching, you know, so it's like, and then you got a shitty bullpen that gives up a shitload of runs. You're only getting 1 to 3 runs a game. We're only at 2. You know, again, you have to get to 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits to have a chance. And even when we get to 4 or 5, that might not even be enough because the other team might score 8 if our pen is shitty. So this 1 to 3 run bullshit that we've been on for a month and a half ain't gonna cut it, you know. And again, we had 8 games above 500 is where we maxed out and capped out at on our 9 consecutive series win streak. Now we're approaching 1 game below 500. And again, we just got to hope that the Astros and Rangers suck ass like us, so that way it's not as bad. But if the Astros get hot, we're in trouble. You know, we're going to end up being 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games back, and we're never going to catch up. And Gurriel popped up to the shortstop. 1 away. At least Gabe got a fucking out finally. Next up, first baseman Pavin Smith, 1 for 3 with a solo jack to get him to 5. And then we need a double play here to get out of the inning. I mean, really, the biggest disappointment with the team is 3 things: hitting, bullpen, and Dan Wilson. You know, so far in this like losing slump that we've been in, his decision making has been terrible. You know, pitching has been terrible, and even starting pitching, you know, has gone down a little bit. Like normally the games that we would win in the past, we're not winning anymore with like our best guys, you know. Even guys that we have confidence in like Logan Evans and Brian Wu, they're not able to get the run support, and then they have that off game. And then if you're not able to compensate with hits, RBIs, and runs, then you're fucked. So Tawa coming into the game pinch hitting, but again, we got a day off, and then we come home, which I think is good, and then we start a series against the Guardians, and also we've been playing down to the competition, you know, and when you play down to the competition, this is the type of shit that happens, and hopefully we'll play up to the competition, and you know, we can get back on track, but a lot of changes need to be made. Tim Tawa coming in. And now, oh God, now they're bringing in Vargas. Game over. Why would you bring in Vargas here? Jesus Christ. These are the type of decisions that I'm talking about. Vargas is fucking terrible. It's runners at first and second with 1 out. And even though you're bringing in, Tawa's coming in and he probably won't get a hit, but normally, because he's not an everyday player, but if Vargas comes in, he'll probably hit him, walk him, or Tawa does something unthinkable like Solano today and hit a 3-run jack and the game's over. I mean, the game is probably already over already. You know, the chance of us getting 3 runs in the 9th, you know, it's probably very, very small. But I don't know what to say. I mean, bringing in Vargas in the game at this point is like bringing in Trent Thornton. You know, why? Ridiculous. And I agree, Peter. It kind of feels like we have Scott Service again. I agree. You know, and again, it's not something that is ideal. First pitch fouled off by Tawa, 0-1 count. Like, the only way Vargas is going to get out of a fucking inning if there's like 2 outs and he only has to go against 1 guy, and he might be able to do it, but he fucking sucks. 0-1 pitch, high and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike from Vargas to Tawa. This game is over. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees, 2 balls and 1 strike from Vargas to Tawa. If I was the Diamondback manager, I would just be like, don't even swing. Vargas can't even hit the strike zone, and they're going to end up having bases loaded, and eventually it's going to lead to a home run RBI, or you have bases loaded and then a free run will just walk in because Vargas can't hit the zone. He stinks. 2-1 pitch. Another ball. Christ. 3 balls and 1 strike from Vargas to Tawa. 3-1 pitch. Fouled off. Tries to jam the hitter at the hips and does. 3 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. We need a double play. And the last guy that you would want to see in other than Thornton is Vargas. And I don't know why they treat Vargas as if he's like Felix Hernandez. He's not. He's not the Felix Hernandez of the bullpen. Like, why are you acting like he's so good? You know, they always throw him in there all the time. Like, the guy is not good. He's so fucking wild. He's all over the place. He never can hit the strike zone. No aura or swag or vibe. Just fucking dog shit fucking opportunities from Vargas. 3-2 pitch. Fouled off. And the count remains 3-2 with runners at first and second and 1 out. And Tawa strikes out swinging. Oh my God. Vargas got a punch out. It's a miracle. 2 away. Unbelievable. Next up is 1 for 3 center fielder Alec Thomas. Well, I think the number one reason that we're losing is the lack of hitting. But then I would say number two would be the bullpen, and then the three, the decision making by Dan Wilson. You can't win when you only get 1 to 3 runs, regardless of what the bullpen has been doing. Giving up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 runs. You still have to get to 5 runs, and the Mariners have only been able to give up 1 to 3 runs total. So you only scored 2 runs, and you give up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you bring in a shitty pen. It's just going to implode. But it definitely is. We can point fingers on a number of reasons why the Mariners have been shitty right now. Within the last month and a half. Injuries, decision-making, lack of hitting, pitching, starting pitching has gone downhill, and the bullpen is one of the worst in MLB. 1-0 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and second and 2 outs. And also the simple fact that the 3 guys that we have that are good in the pen, we can't use them every day. Brash, Spire, Munoz. Instead of using them every day, we only see them once every 3 to 4 games. That ain't going to cut it. And Thomas grounds out to second. And I don't know how Vargas did it, but he actually got us out of the inning. And that happens like 1 time out of every 10. So I guess we have to be happy about that. Vargas, you're still ass, and I don't like you. But I'm thankful that they kept the lead to 3. All right, we're down to our last 3 batters here, and now we need a miracle like we did a couple days ago when we were down 4-0 in the 9th, and we scored 4. Ended up losing 8-4 and giving up a grand salami because of Vargas to Josh Naylor. But it's a simple fact that, Solano got a hit, Cole Young got a hit, Dominic Canzone had a 2-run homer, and we ended up getting the 4 with special. But right now, this is going to be even tougher. Next up, 1 for 3 with an RBI, second baseman Jorge Polanco. Batting second, 1 for 3 with 3 Ks, Mitch Garver. And batting third, 1 for 3 with a run, RBI, and a solo dinger. First of the year with his family in attendance, Donovan Solano. I don't know what the chances are of those 3 guys being heroes here. Not very good, but, I guess it could be worse. All of those guys could be 0 for 3 right now. So all of them have at least a hit. Polo has an RBI single. Solano has the home run. So at least we have 2 out of the 3 guys that have put up the runs for us today. But that's the fucking problem. It's like we're either really, really good or really, really bad. There's not an in-between. Why can't the Mariners have an in-between, where we're playing okay, and we can stay afloat, sometimes winning 2 out of 3, then maybe winning 1 out of 3, then 2 out of 3. But no, it's either sweeping or we lose and get swept. There's nothing in between. And now Miller is coming in for Beeks, and we'll see what Polo does here. All right, we're down 3. First pitch from Miller to Polo. Takes a strike, looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 50 before the game ends. We're at 40. We need 10 more to go. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike, swinging in the zone, behind the count, 0-2 to Miller. And we're at 20 on the dono train, 80 to go. 5-2, Diamondback lead. We have the day off tomorrow. I'll spend it with Paisley and read and do some film study. And then we're going to be at home at T-Mobile starting a 3-game set against the Guardians. And I'll do all of those games, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And hopefully we can win 2 out of 3. We got 7 hits, but only 2 runs, and that ain't going to cut it. 0-2 pitch, in play. And Polo grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, 1 away. But remember, Logan Gilbert and Luke Raley will be back in about a week. And so hopefully that will be the spark that we need. Next up is Mitch Garver. And it also shows you how important Victor Robles is to this team. If we had Victor Robles leading off and playing in right field, we wouldn't be in the position that we're in right now. He would have been able to dig us out of some holes. He's got the good vibes like Gino did for us. Where things are going bad, you're always going to have that one guy that's got a smile on his face that, gets things done. And again, that's the kind of piece that we're missing. JP has been pretty good as a leadoff hitter, but if he was our 9-hole hitter still with Robles leading off, we would have been in a much better position. 0-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle to Garver. Behind in the count 0-2 from Miller. Top of the ninth, 5-2 Diamondbacks. Come on, Mitch. 0-2 pitch, low and away with a splitter by Miller. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mitch Garver, who isn't really worth a damn. Solano doesn't deserve to be on this team. Garver doesn't need to be on the team. Dylan Moore sucks ass right now. We need to call up Locklear and Harry Ford. It's not going to hurt, to be able to see if they can actually hit and help us out defensively. 1-2 pitch, splitter, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Garver. 2-2 pitch, and big swing and a miss. Down goes Garver, 2 away. This game is essentially over. Yeah, 1-5 road trip. Is that good? Fuck no. Next up, first baseman, 1 for 3 with a first home run of the year, Donovan Solano. And the chance of him hitting another home run is like 0. So this game is about to end here in about a minute or so. Yeah, it's really painful, man. First pitch in play. And look at that. Donovan Solano with a single. Unbelievable. Solano and Julio having games where they show out, but then no one else does. Unbelievable. Nice job by Donovan. All right, if Dominic Canzone can hit a homer here, then we have life. But that's the only way. Nice job by Donovan Solano. He's been ass all year. He's been better, within the last couple weeks. Even though the team overall has sucked, he's been better than what he was at the beginning of the year, batting 100. First pitch fouled off by Dominic Canzone, 0-1 count. Come on, Dom. We need that electricity again. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike, swinging high and away, behind in the count 0-2 to Dominic Canzone. When we end up having a left-handed pitcher and we have to go with an all-righty lineup, but besides JP, we suck. We need to be able to change that. The only way that we win is when our lefties play, when it's a majority of the lineup is lefties with a few righties. But when we go all righties and just JP, we suck. Like left-handed pitching, we suck. 1-2 pitch, 4-seam fastball, 5 feet off the plate by Miller. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Donovan Solano at first, and we need a miracle here. We need a Canzone with a 2-run homer. And fielders indifferent, Solano to second. And 2-2 pitch, and fucking A. Canzone strikes out swinging, and that is the game. I'm sick and tired of this fucking team scoring 1 to 3 runs, and we can't even win with our best pitchers on the mound. Man, brutal. But again, it can't get any worse than where we're at right now. All we can do is go up from here. We were really, really good at the beginning of the year. We're really, really bad now. And all we can do is go up from here with Gilbert and Rayleigh going to be back in about 5 to 6 days. Final score, Diamondbacks 5, Mariners 2. We're going to have the day off tomorrow, which is good, I think, for everyone, Mariner players and Mariner fans. And then we'll be back on Friday at home to do the Mariners and the Guardians. And I'll be doing all 3 games. And it'll be good to come back home. And hopefully the crowd can will us to a couple victories, because we're going to need all the support that we can get. I appreciate everyone. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Things will get better, but again, we are hitting a little bit of a wall. That is no doubt. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Have a great Thursday tomorrow, and again, we'll be back live Friday for the Mariners and the Guardians, obviously on Friday night. So if you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Help us get to 50 before this stream ends, or right after the stream ends. And again, Not ideal, but I still have faith in this team. We can still get a wild card, but a lot of things got to change, and we have to be happy that Gilbert and Rayleigh will be back very, very soon. And I got one question for you. Who you know talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Still love the Mariners. Tridents up, and I'm out. Go M's.